For every question you might ask me about an upcoming campaign, the answer really relies on the prospect list. For example, how much can we raise? Show me the prospect list. How long will it take? Show me the prospect list. Who should we ask to chair the campaign? Let's see the prospect list. Should we have a staff-driven campaign or one that uses volunteers? That depends. Show me the prospect list. As we saw in earlier videos, even the validity of the feasibility study relies on first developing a major gift prospect list. So the first takeaway from this video is this: the prospect list is the engine that drives the campaign strategy. The second takeaway is this: when you prepare for a capital campaign, you don't just pull a number out of the air and hope for the best. That's the surest way to failure. There has to be a plan in place to get to the number you want to reach. Now, for any goal that's greater than, say, $500,000, $600,000, really big gifts are essential to hitting the goal. For example, let's look at how a $3 million campaign typically plays out. Let's look closely at this table, sometimes called a standard gift table. It's also nicknamed a giving pyramid because the number of gifts needed at each gift level gets progressively larger as the gift amount gets smaller. Each gift is like a brick in a pyramid with, in this case, a single capstone gift at the top and hundreds of gifts at the bottom. This table represents an initial plan of attack, if you will, a plan that will be refined over time. Do the math with me so you know how the chart works. First, look at the first column, number of gifts needed. According to the chart, we tentatively need one gift of $500,000, two gifts of $250,000, four gifts of $100,000, and so on. Now, look at the last column to the right, the cumulative total. Let's total the top three gift levels. One gift of $500,000 plus two gifts of $250,000 and four at $100,000, that totals $1.4 million, nearly half the value of the entire $3 million campaign. If you add in 9 gifts of $50,000, your cumulative total increases to $1,850,000. That's nearly 2/3 of the entire goal from just 16 households. Now look at the bottom of the column labeled number of gifts needed, the first column. I simply say many gifts at lower levels for a combined value of $350,000. In other words, if you close 1,000 gifts averaging $350, you'd have an additional $350,000. But those 1,000 gifts are still less than the single gift at the very top. Let that math sink in for a minute. Nearly 2/3 of the $3 million comes from 16 households. So many of my clients are concerned about public relations, about launching the campaign citywide in what we call the general phase of the campaign. Tremendous resources are sometimes devoted to these areas. But again, look at the math. The vast majority of the money does not come from the general public. It doesn't come from the thousands of people in your database. It comes from a very limited number of donors capable of making very, very large gifts. So when it comes to public relations, I'm not so much concerned about whether everybody in the city knows that you're having the world's greatest capital campaign. What I'm concerned about is ensuring that 16 households know and understand the campaign, the 16 people who will fund 2/3 of the campaign. Having said that, let me voice one big caveat: the Parish Campaign. The Catholic parish is a unique community, and good public relations within the parish membership is critical. My policy is to provide everybody in the parish the same information at the same time, lest people think that the pastor and the parish leadership are catering just to the wealthy. In summary, major gifts are critical to the success of capital campaigns. So the more care and effort that goes into building the major gift prospect list, the more productive and efficient the campaign. Therefore, you will need to identify and codify your major gift prospects long before you start asking people for money, right? We call this process screening and rating. In the next video, we discuss standard fundraising codes used in the screening and rating process.